you live from WBGR studio. No BS, no holds ball sports talk show is back in the building. Sorry about last week. I had to take a little quick vacation up to my hometown of Boston. You know, Title Town, as I always call it. You know, just messing with y'all. But today, I need to introduce my man, Mr. Unregulated. Sir!
Yes, sir.
How are you today?
I'm doing well, Shane, and thanks for having me. And hello to the viewers. And I guess the first question that most of the female viewers were asking: am I single? Yes, I am. They don't call me Mr. Unregulated for no reason. So what you're going to get from me is you're going to get straight up truth.
Yes.
You're going to get street. You're going to get professionalism, and whatever else I may decide to throw at you.
So, ladies and gents, we just gonna jump right into it because there's a lot of stuff that him and I gotta talk to you guys about today. But we gotta talk about some of the stuff that's been going on in the DMV. So let's jump right into it. Maryland. Woo! Maryland. Y'all just find a way to mess up. That number to call is going to be 301-429-9247. 301-429-9247. Now, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but as you know, that Jordan McNair, he died at the age of 19 during practice at the University of Maryland, football practice. So since then, a lot of things has obviously transpired. This was his result of him dying. So they found out that his death was because of unsafe and damaging football practices, practicing in 100-degree heat, no team doctor was on site for triage assessment, pushing the body to the point of heat stroke, not enough water to keep his body hydrated, and then the culture of you being tough enough to endure complete and utter dangerous, life-threatening situations. That was his cause of death. So they say. Now, here's the situation. I think a lot of people have to understand about this is this was probably one of the worst football tragedies I think we've seen in college sports. 19 years old. It's a very young life. He should still be here.
He should.
Okay, but you and I play sports. I play football, and I know you play football too. Let me just ask you this, from a coach's perspective, because I know you're not a coach, but
I am.
Oh, you are a coach. I'm sorry. So, from a coach's perspective, what is it that goes through your mind when you hear about a situation like this?
Well, the first thing is we have to back up. We have to examine or analyze what actually happened during the practice. Leading up to the cause of the death. I've heard stories about Mr. Jordan having seizures.
Yeah.
I've heard stories about being dehydrated. I've heard stories about one of the coaches telling him to drag your ass on back on across the field. So until we get the facts, all we can do is speculate. As a coach, there is a limit, and we have to know the limit. But our job is also to push the athletes. We have to push the athletes to bring the best out of them, to get them to take that extra lap or that extra step towards greatness. But again, there has to be something put in place, trainers to recognize, or to signal to a coach that let's take a look at this player right here, or maybe let's take a 15-minute break. There has to be someone that can come in and regulate the practice, because as a coach, we're going to push. Now the verbal abuse, drag your ass on across the field, and I'm sorry again, this is no BS. So pardon my language. There are some things that probably need to be corrected. But you can't take the coaching away from the coach. I don't know what else to say about it besides that it's an unfortunate situation. And until we get all of the facts,
right.
All we can do is speculate and give an opinion I guess an opinion that that's not based on all the facts. So I mean, it's just conversation.
I mean, yeah, I hear that, but here's the problem. The problem is there's pushing players, and then there's just this. You have, too many times we have seen this in football. I mean, we've even seen it in the NFL where guys get pushed a little bit too hard, and then next thing you know, the player dies of heat stroke, or something happens in practice, or guys get hurt, or things like that. And in this situation, it's like, well, Coach Durkin, you've already have what people are calling it, a toxic culture. I mean, it's been reported by Bleacher Report, Yahoo Sports. It's been reported by ESPN that he created this culture of toxicity there. And it's like, okay, so if you created this culture of toxicity, then what are players supposed to do? You're not going to tell your coach that, no, coach, I'm not going to deal with your mess. You're not going to say that. Why? Because you want to play. And in this case, like, it cost a young man's life. 19 years old?
Yeah.
You remember what you was doing when you was 19? I remember what I was doing when I was 19. All I was thinking about was trying to get through school and just trying to do my thing.
I don't know about that, Shane. I mean, we were thinking two different things. What time is it? 2:30 in the afternoon. Okay. I went to Eastern Senior High School, so at 2:30 in the afternoon, I'm thinking about, okay, let me ride Wilson. I'm going up HD, so then back to football practice.
Exactly. But the sad part is, the strength and conditioning coach, he got fired.
Yeah.
And I said to people that was going to come down the pipe. DJ Durk has been placed on administrative leave ever since then. And now the problem is like, okay, so now they have a new head coach, he's their interim coach for now. I don't think he's going to last very long either, because he was part of the culture, so I'm pretty sure that, well, I mean, look, if
I'm looking forward to him. This guy comes with an impressive resume. Matt Canada.
Yeah.
His resume is pretty impressive, and he deserves the opportunity. Now, I don't know what his involvement was with this situation, but I am looking forward to seeing him, take over the team. Durkin, it's just a matter of time before the press release come out and they announce that they're going to just go ahead and pay him off and send him on his way. His history says that he shouldn't be here.
Well, I said to people, I'm like, even if you was to fire him for a football reason, well, the football reason would be you had 2 losing seasons. Now, everybody could say you would have bad luck because the past 2 years, literally all 3 quarterbacks in both seasons, they all got hurt. So that's just bad luck. But at the same time, you can't sit here and say to me that, like, there needs to be a change. Because Maryland, for years, they have not been winning. They haven't been winning. They left the ACC. In fact, they were one of the worst teams in the ACC for a long time. Then they move on to the Big Ten. Obviously, it didn't go very well in the Big Ten. They hired DJ Durkin a couple of years ago. They go 6-6. Next thing you know, they find their ways into a bowl game. They end up losing the bowl game to Boston College. And I remember it like it was yesterday. They lost 42-36. They shouldn't have lost, but they found a way to lose.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And there's nothing anybody can do about that. But at the same time, this coach, he just needs to go.
You know what? He needs to go. This coach is so bad that any other coach that we had in Maryland basketball or football, the state, the surrounding state, and the District of Columbia, we know who it is.
Yeah.
Who is this guy? Who is he? I mean, his name...
So here's the thing. Little do people realize DJ Durkin was an assistant under Urban Meyer before. He was also an assistant as a coach Jim Harbaugh. Mm-hmm. Okay, those are some very pedigree type coaches. I mean, clearly, Jim Harbaugh. He went to the NFL, had 3 winning seasons, went to the Super Bowl, been to a couple of NFC Championship games. He comes back to college football, and he was a beast in college football as well. Urban Meyer, I mean, he only won 2 national championships. Actually, 3 national championships.
So Shane, I hear what you're saying, but basically this guy is just like me. This is the Shane Hector show. So this guy is sitting on the bus, just going for the ride.
Pretty much.
Because I mean, what has he done? Who is he? Yeah. I mean, in DC, in DMV sports, we know who our coaches are. Right. We know who our top players are.
Yep.
If you ask me who the coach of Maryland football was before this story came out, I could not tell you. He has not established a name.
No, he hasn't.
He hasn't established anything that I know about besides something that's negative.
Right.
You know, so I mean, who is he? He's a nobody. Get rid of him. Let's move on.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I hope that when the dust settles and he goes home, because we all know he's gonna get fired.
Yeah.
I think it's just kind of inevitable at this point. I don't see. There's no way you can tell me that this man is gonna get past this year. There's no way. If he does, that'll be a huge surprise to me. I mean, there's even people calling for for president of Maryland to be fired too, Wallace Lowe, and I'm like, I don't think that that's the right move, but you know.
Shouldn't it be the AD first before the president?
Thank you.
Yeah. We want to let's focus on the AD and what the AD know.
Yeah, let's find out what the AD knows, because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the AD had to know. There's no way he could not know.
Right.
You know, first off, Maryland's too big of a program. It's one of the biggest programs in the country, and on top of that, you're in the Big Ten. You're in the second toughest football conference in college football. Obviously, the number one toughest football conference is the SEC. Okay, so there is no way the AD did not know. There wasn't a bullet shot in the dark that he didn't know about. There was no way.
You know, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking of two things.
Mm-hmm.
One, how do we celebrate the life of Mr. Jordan?
Yes.
Two, what do we do in protest if this guy, if the coach is now fired? Do we show up for the first home game? You know, do we continue to stand during the entire game? Do the players, do they kneel? What will happen if the players kneel? What would Trump have to say about that?
There's nothing. What does anybody really care about what Trump is going to say anymore? Like, nobody's going to really care about that man, especially in Maryland, because Maryland, you already saw what they did when they changed the name of the stadium. The name of the stadium used to be a guy who didn't want to have integration at Maryland, and you saw what happened. The students was like, nope, we're going to change the name. They changed it. Next thing you know, they changed the name of the stadium.
Shane, hold on for one. That's Shane Hector. I'm Dana. Mr. Trump.
Nobody gonna care about that orange food. I'm just saying. But real quick, folks, we're gonna move right along. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have some crazy stuff to talk about. So don't go anywhere. The No BS Show.
Don't go nowhere.
When's the last time someone said thanks for checking over your shoulder before changing lanes? Or gave you a pat on the back for sticking to the speed limit? Or a thumbs up for not tailgating? Probably never. Which is too bad, considering safe drivers make the roads safer for everyone. That's why Allstate appreciates safe drivers like no one else. And they show it by saving you 45% or more, along with giving you safe driving bonus checks, deductible rewards, and extra discounts with the DriveWise app. So the next time you come to a complete stop in an intersection, ask yourself, why haven't I switched to Allstate?
The Brandeo Insurance Group, your local DMV Allstate agent, can help you save 45% or more for driving safely. Call him at 410-424-0844 and get a quote today.
It pays to drive safely. Call a local Allstate agent today and find out how you can save 45% or more. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. We gotta talk about this fool right above me. His name was Carmelo Anthony. You know, the guy who cheated on his wife Lala. Very beautiful woman, by the way.
She is.
Yeah, is it? How you really, Carmelo Lala? You didn't have to do that to that girl. But this man going to Houston. I just have one question. Why, Houston? Why would you do that to yourself? Why? Like, let's look at what he brings there, right? He's played over 1,000 games in his career. Averages over 24 points a game, a little over 6.5 rebounds, like 3 assists a game throughout his career. Last season, he played 78 games out of 82. That's just not bad. That's a little over 90% of your games. That's cute. But he only averaged about 16 points a game, maybe 6 rebounds, and about 1 assist a game. The Carmelo Anthony I'm used to is dropping at least 20.
But you say he only averaged 16.1 points a game, 16.2
16.2 points per game.
we would love to have that 16.2 points a game here in DC.
I'm sure
Most teams would love to have that. So I mean, it's not. His numbers may have declined because of the situation that he was in. I mean, let's be honest. Russell's shooting everything he got. Every time Russell touches the ball, he's shooting it. So I mean, you know, I think Carmelo can go to Houston and provide them with some added force off the bench. Yeah, I said off the bench. I think 16 points is not hard for him to average in Houston. I think he'll do pretty good there if he can find the shots between James Harden and what's the other guy that like to jack the ball?
Paul.
No, not Chris Paul. The other guard. What's the other guard? They got is it?
You talking about Bledsoe? No, not Bledsoe.
Is it Matthews? Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, they got another guard that can actually put the ball in the hole too. So I mean, if Carmelo can find shots.
I mean, that's true, but the thing is this is what I have an issue with the Houston Rockets. I feel like they're kind of reaching with Carmelo. Not to say that they wasn't great last year, because honestly, when they played the Warriors in that Game 7, I was like, oh, if this team would have had Chris Paul, they definitely would have won. Yeah. It wouldn't have even been a question. I'd have been, and then they wouldn't have got that ring. I'm sorry. I mean, the Rockets was going to get this ring this year. Had they beat the Warriors, they were still going to get that ring, whether people want to admit it or not. Because LeBron James, I'm not going to take anything away from him because he's great. But at the same time, no matter who he saw, he was going to lose to the West, no matter what.
You know, I know the numbers, people go on numbers and people go on what have you done for me lately. But people, look at this face. Look at that face. That is the face of a Baltimore native person. That is attitude. This is what the Houston Rockets need.
Right.
You know, most teams need a person like this that's going to bring attitude.
Right.
Speaking of attitude, you know, I ran into Carmelo this past summer. He and his wife. My son was playing AAU basketball with Team Durant, and we were at the Boo Williams Center down in Richmond. And Carmelo walks into place. I guess his son was playing with one of the New York AAU teams. Carmelo walks into place, and he walks, and you know the kids saying, Carmelo. This guy, he walks. It's like he saw nothing. He just walks straight past everybody, and his security is saying he wants to watch his kid. Can you all just, you know, he'll sign autographs later. I mean, you are a superstar. These kids look up to you. These kids, you know, so to see you to come into a place where there's 90% kids and you just walk past everybody as if you're Donald Trump. You know, I had a problem with that, Carmelo. You know, I don't know how many autographs you signed after the event was over with, but I had a problem with these kids having to wait just to get an autograph or to say hi to you.
So, reading the comment section real quick. So, Jabari Emanuel, he said, with or without Carmelo, the Thunder are not going to beat my Jazz. And then he says, the Rockets should be okay offensive team that just jacks up shots. And Coach D'Antoni, a.k.a. Coach D'Antoni, because he has no D on his team, which is, I don't know if I kind of agree with that. Because this is like I just brought up earlier. This Rockets team would have beat the Warriors if they would have just had Chris Paul.
Yeah.
They definitely would have beat them because they did have the defense. Because let's be honest, the problem with the West right now, it's stacked everywhere. Like literally every team that you see in the West is stacked. What he's going to bring to the Rockets is actually going to be very good because it'll allow them to take some pressure off of their other offensive players. Because James Harden, we already know he's going to get his points. Chris Paul just signed a max contract, so you know he's going to get his points. And then you got, shout out to Davina Mendes-Rosa. Thank you for tuning in. And Cavante Hurd, thank you for tuning in, sir. We already know these guys are going to jack up shots. Then you got Trevor Ariza.
I think Ariza's gone.
I thought Ariza was still there.
No, I think he's gone.
Ah.
Yeah. But you're right. I mean, I believe
they have a lot of guys on that team. They're going to be coming off the bench. They got a decent starting five, and then they have the big boy at power forward.
Which big boy you talking about?
What is that kid?
The one that's still unsigned.
No, I don't think he's unsigned.
They had a free agent, or I don't know if it was a restricted free agent, but they had someone that Capella.
Yes, Capella.
Yeah.
And so with Capella, I'm like, so you got these guys. There's no way that this team this year cannot make a run. Because let's be honest, the Warriors right now, they're just stacked everywhere. They literally have a starting five and another starting five on the bench. which I think is really crazy to say. You look at the starting five for the Warriors, they got Curry, they have Durant, they got Draymond, they got Clay, and now they got Boogie. Now, Boogie probably, if his injury comes back well, he might start mid-season. And it's going to be hard to stop the team. Cavante just clarified that Ariza is with the Suns now. Okay. So with Boogie being there, it's like not every last one of these guys can shoot threes. And you got guys who can also defend. So the starting five is already sweet. But then you look at the bench, Sean Livingston, Andre Iguodala. And then they added a couple more guys. Mr. Hurd, I see your comment. You're saying the Rockets are trash. Compared to the Warriors, yes. I can see where you could go with that. But to say that they don't have a chance, though, I kind of disagree with you, my friend. Because here's the thing. The Rockets were literally that close.
Yeah.
They were literally right there. All they needed was Chris Paul to play. But unfortunately, he got hurt. And they can't help that. And even when I said to people, the thing is with the Rockets, they're honestly the only team that can challenge the Warriors in the West. Because I'm sorry, LeBron being with the Lakers is cute, but he's going to be too busy teaching these young kids. He's going to have to teach Kuzma. He's going to have to teach Lonzo Ball. He's going to have to teach all these young boys there. And yes, he got Rondo. He's got a couple of veteran players with him, but at the same time, that probably as a situation where everybody's going to be learning how to play with each other. So, and then Brandon Ingram, he's nice, but again, we're going to have to wait and see. Then Portland's just Portland. And the Jazz, I think, is rising because Donovan Mitchell. He should have had Rookie of the Year, in my opinion. I love Jason Tatum.
Who's voting? Why can't we get a vote here? Somebody from the NBA, call us, please.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, Donovan Mitchell, I always felt like he should have definitely got Rookie of the Year.
He put the team on his back.
Because he put that team on his back. I love Jason Tatum to death. Everybody who knows me knows I love my Celtics. Yeah. But I also can give credit where credit is due. And the credit definitely has to go to Donovan Mitchell because the way he played, that team, nobody expected them to be where they were last year. Because we all thought Gordon Hayward, once he dipped off to Boston, that was going to be the end of the Jazz. Here this kid come, next thing you know, he's there. So, and then obviously, if you wasn't going to choose Donovan Mitchell, you definitely should have went with Jason Tatum.
When you look at what the Utah Jazz have done since Sloan has left, you have to give credit to their scout. Their scouting department is awesome.
Right.
When you look at Gobert, then you look at the players that they have on the team. I can't name all of them, but you look at the players that they have on their team and how they draft and how they remain, relevant. Yeah. That's amazing. Right. You lose a legendary coach. You lose Haywood. There's no more Mailman. There's no more Stockton. There hasn't been for a decade, but they still remain relevant. That is something to say about that organization there. And for all you people that like to bet, I'll make 3 predictions right now. I'm going to tell you that this man right here with this face right here will be an impact. The Houston Rockets will win the West.
Woo! That's a bold prediction.
And this is why. Because with Boogie Cousins in Golden State, what's going to happen is that he's not going to get his shots.
Okay.
And he's going to get angry. Right. And the person that's going to try to calm him down is going to be Draymond. Boogie Cousins will choke Draymond on live TV. You watch this. This is going to be something to watch. And when this happens, it may not be an actual choke. It may be a push or a shove or an argument. But you heard it right. You heard it right here first. That is not a combination that I think is going to mix. It's not going to mix well. So Draymond Green, Boogie Cousins, no, I can't see that mixing well. The third prediction that I'm going to make is, I'm going to tell you right now, John Wall has a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, he does.
John Wall has a chip on his shoulder. Dwight Howard has a chip on his shoulder. Bradley Beal will benefit from the chip on both of these people's shoulders. Otto Porter will emerge. The Washington Wizards will contend for the Eastern Conference Finals this year.
Over who?
You know what? If I just had to guess, Boston.
I mean, Boston would probably 9 times out of 10.
Yeah,
be number one.
Boston would probably be, the pick if they're not knocked out by someone like the Milwaukee Bucks before they get there.
And I was actually just about to allude to that because that's really the only team I could think of that would give the Celtics the most problems. Because for some odd reason, the Greek Freak.
Oh my God,
that dude is a Middleton. And Bledsoe, Eric Bledsoe, Bledsoe, he was talking a lot last year, but he posted. He posted up. So I'm not gonna act like, he didn't do no damage last year. And they took the Celtics to Game 7. But it's just that Game 7 happened to be in Boston. So I kinda knew they was gonna lose. But then for the rest of the way, I was like, okay, now this is gonna be a little easier for Boston, because I'm sorry, the Sixers, they're not ready yet. I think the Sixers, talent wise, are a great basketball team. But I feel like the Sixers are about to be the new Wizards. Because the problem with the Wizards that I've seen this with them with years, they've always had the talent, they just found a way to lose on stupid stuff. Last season they was bad because I know they had a few injuries last year. I mean, John was in and out of games. So that was different last season with with the Wizards. Plus, I didn't trust Otto Porter. I've always thought, I don't know why. I've really been trying to understand why the Wizards paid this man 4 years, $128 million. I'm trying to understand it because I'm sorry.
This is why. The past 2 years, Otto has been in the top. I want to say top 5. It may be top 10 in three-point field goal percentage.
Okay.
Otto Porter is long. His IQ of the game is very high.
Right.
If you put Otto Porter on another team, Otto Porter very easily can average 24 points. I'll give him 27 points a game.
Right.
It comes too easy to him.
Right.
Put him on the team, give him the 20 shots a game, and see if Otto Porter don't average 27 points.
But see, the problem is when you got John Wall and Bradley Beal there's no reason why these 3 guys should honestly be the new Steph, Clay, and Draymond. There's no reason why. Because Bradley Beal, I've seen him play against my Celtics a couple years back. Mind you, we had Isaiah Thomas at the time. When we had Isaiah Thomas, you saw what happened with that. Yeah. They was they was playing some defense. The only reason why y'all lost that Game 7 was only because John Wall, for some odd reason, that game, he just had a bit of a bad game, just a tiny bit of a bad game. He didn't play near perfect. If he would have played perfect, I'm pretty sure the Wizards would have beat us in Game 7, but that didn't happen. Because I'm sorry, Isaiah Thomas was too small. And then last season, was last season. So I think this year, there'll be a better basketball team. But Otto got to show up. And Cravante Hurd, I see your comment. You say Otto Porter is trash. And I kind of disagree with you. I don't think he's trash. But I do believe he's inconsistent. He is very inconsistent. I will say that. But, any final thoughts?
I'm sticking with what I said. The Washington Wizards will contend for the Eastern Conference Finals. Otto Porter, everybody has their opinion on Otto. I'm telling you, watch this guy play. There's always a player on the team that they call the glue. Otto is the glue. Otto is the defensive player. Otto is the one that the other team has to prepare for. Everybody knows John Wall and Bradley Beal, but the third person that they say, Otto, we cannot give him a wide open shot. And then when you give in transition, you cannot let him get out in transition. Otto Porter, you know what? I'm not going to say that because I think Bradley Beal will be an MVP this year of the team. But Otto Porter will be a second close to being the MVP of the Washington Wizards this year. You watch what I tell you.
All right, there it is, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we got some more things to talk to you guys about, so don't go anywhere in the No BS Show.
No BS.
It's the new, all-natural, family-friendly pharmacy, Family Choice Pharmacy, located at 8313 Annapolis Road, New Carrollton, Maryland. Family Choice alternative medicines, as well as discount programs you can easily enjoy. Come be a part of our family at Family Choice Pharmacy, as every family should know their pharmacist. If you're looking to join the family today, you can reach us at 301-577-1212 at Family Choice Pharmacy.
If you like to roller skate, you will love Lanham Skate Center. We offer all kinds of specials, birthday parties, skate classes, and more. You can even reserve the rink for a special event. Skate rentals only $3, so roll on over to Lanham Skate Center today. Located at 9901 Lanham Severn Road in Lanham, Maryland. For more information about our weekly schedule, visit us on the web at lanhamskatecenter.com or call for more information at 301-577-1733. That's 301-577-1733.
Woo! And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we got some college football about to start. It's about to get real because I was feeling some type of way about last year's season, and I'm still feeling some type of way about last year's season. But it's a whole new year. It's a whole new year. We're going to talk about the top 25 and what some bold predictions are. Like, I have some predictions of who I think is going to get to the national championship, and who might get a couple of bowl games, who's going to get to the college football playoffs. So we're going to give this whole top 25 here. I mean, look at this top 25. It's just lovely. Like, you got Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia, Oklahoma. You got Washington at 6, Wisconsin at 7. 8 is Miami. Penn State at 9, Auburn at number 10, Notre Dame's 11, Michigan State is 12. Stanford, I'm kind of surprised they're in there, but they're at 13. You got Michigan at 14, USC at 15, TCU at 16. VTech is at number 17. Mississippi State at 18. Florida State is at 19. West Virginia's at 20. Texas at 21. Boise State's number 22. And University of Central Florida's 23. I'm kind of surprised at that one. LSU's number 24, and Oklahoma State is number 25. Here's my prediction right here. And this is my issue with this whole top 25. First off, let's talk about Alabama. They're obviously going to be number one for a default reason. One, they just won the national championship. They beat Georgia. Georgia, I expected them to be there, but you know the thing is they have a lot of returning starters because a lot of that team last year was juniors. So a lot of those guys are coming back from that previous squad. And as you know, Isaiah Wynn and Sonny Michel, they end up going to the NFL. They're both with the Patriots now, and then they, I think one of their other backs is in the NFL as well. Alabama, I mean, they lost a lot of key defensive starters. One of which is a place for the Redskins now. Daron Payne. Payne is an excellent defensive tackle for them, and I mean, it seems like Alabama's just pumping defensive players to the league for years. The problem with Alabama right now, and a lot of people don't understand this, and I'm just gonna flat out say it, they're gonna have a quarterback situation because the problem is once Nick Saban benched Jalen Hurts in the national championship, all of a sudden this new kid comes in and he just flat out flies. And I'm like, how's this gonna go? So I think Alabama will still be in the college football playoffs. That's if they don't lose to these guys or they don't lose to Auburn. Uh-oh. I feel like you guys, what's up?
Well, first of all, this top who made this top 25? I mean, where is this top 25 coming from? I could create a top 25 that would have teams more deserving to be up there than. Look, let's take 23. Let's take UCF out of it, and let's put Texas A&M right there at 23.
Why would you put TAMU there, though?
They deserve to be there. Texas A&M deserves to be. I think right now Texas A&M may be ranked 28th or 29th.
Right.
You know, let's put.
They did receive a couple of votes. Yeah.
And then you also have to look at where the Gators at. We're talking about SEC.
Okay, so here's the problem. You have to remember what's going on. University of Central Florida was undefeated last year. The problem was...
Did they play Howard?
No, they didn't play Howard. And secondly, you can't sleep on Howard because Howard definitely beat an FBS school last year.
Oh, they did?
They beat UNLV.
Oh, congrats, Howard.
I was about to say, don't get it twisted. Kalen Newton did his thing. He definitely threw like 4 touchdowns in that game.
Howard. I haven't watched Howard since the Fleet and Jay Walker. I haven't followed them since then.
Well, here's the thing about UNLV though. Like that team was clearly terrible. Like they was not a good a good football team at all last year. But I mean, they still beat them, and then they marched into Kent State and they almost beat them. The only reason why they lost was because Howard's defense just couldn't keep up. That was the only reason why they lost that game. But other than that, Howard was right there. So don't get it twisted.
Well, yeah.
But UCF, I feel like the reason why I don't think they should have been ranked 23. I honestly believe they should have at least been ranked number 17, where VTech is. And the reason why is because Central Florida, like I said, they went undefeated. That's not their problem though, that they're in a weak division. That's not their problem. I mean, it's the same thing with it's like the Boise State argument. Boise State was going undefeated for years, and then all of a sudden they shocked the world when they beat my Sooners, Oklahoma. When they beat my Sooners, that's when everybody was like, "Oh wait, clearly Boise State's a good football team." I'm like, this team has been good for years though. Yeah. You can't just discount a team just because of who they play. Yeah. That's not their problem. That's why I have been advocating for this for years. They need to expand the college football players. They need to expand it. I don't think it should just be 4 teams, because the problem is, let's be honest, these teams are usually probably going to always be there. Usually, right? So let's mix it up a little bit. Let's put in some teams that you ain't never seen before. I say expand it from 1 to 16. That's what I say. And then you can just run them off in different bowl games.
That's a good idea. I never thought of that. But when I'm sitting here thinking now, okay, let's do this. Right. Let's do your top 4, and let's choose your top 4 conferences. Let's say SEC, Big Ten, Pac-12, and ACC.
Right.
That's your top 4 here, and then we have your top 4 with your next level teams. The 2 winners from these top 4, that's your final 4.
That could work. And the thing is like I was saying, like with 16 teams, you can just run them off. And then you have, your first round, and then you have your quarterfinal, then your semifinal, and then boom.
Is that too much football at that point?
It's not, because think about it, like they're going to play that much in the NFL. In the NFL, like if some of these guys go on to the NFL, they're already playing 16 games, not including the playoffs. Let's just take a team, like I always said this, if you look at the state of the NFL today, they play 16 games. Let's say you got a team that's a wild card team, right? They're going to play an extra game, so they're already playing. They're going to play 16, then they play the wild card, then they play the divisional, then they play the AFC Championship. Let's say they make it to the Super Bowl. They literally just play 20 games. Yeah. So regardless, they're going to have to play a lot of games anyway. But it's just in college football, they play less games. They play 12 games. So all you're doing is just adding basically four games. That's all you're doing. Wow. And it becomes a 16-game season. Wow. Now, the only thing is you would have to start your playoffs literally as soon as, it's basically in November. Right. You'd have to start it in November, so that way you could be done by January.
That sounds like a good idea, Shane.
Exactly.
And I'm sure the NCAA is not going to have a problem with that. The more games, the more money that they're generating.
Mm-hmm. And these schools, and let's be honest, these schools are about the money.
Yes.
Let's be honest. So they're going to want to definitely do a system like that. And it, honestly, it would be more, to me, it would be more inclusive.
Now, when you do this, though, Shane, and you add all these extra games, now the athletes and the athlete parents are saying, 4 more games, my kid is a senior. He's about to be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. What if he gets hurt? So now, should we ask the NCAA?
He might get hurt in the NFL, so what would be the difference?
Yeah, but I mean, as a parent, we're right here.
Right.
We're right here, and now we can either play the championship game or we got to go through this playoff where it's 4 extra games. Do I really want to risk $100 million opposed to playing an extra game that's going to only benefit the universities and the NCAA? Now, should the NCAA and these universities come up with a way where as though the athletes can be compensated?
So they should have been doing that to begin with.
Yeah, because it's a lot of money being generated.
I mean, to be honest with you, that should have been done to begin with. But again, the problem with the NCAA is, I'm not going to say this bias as much as I would like to say. Actually, no, I am going to say it.
Shane.
No, I'm going to say it.
No BS.
the problem that I have with the NCAA is, let's be honest about this whole situation. The truth is, most of the kids that are going to benefit from it are usually mostly African American kids. Because, let's be honest, the kids who are non-African American, the white ones, let's be honest about it, they're going to always be fine. They can go out and get a job. They'll be fine getting out of school. For some of these kids, all they're going to have is sports. So, that's why it's like, for me, I'll never forget a couple of years, when Allie Raisman, because she went to SMU. She was a gymnast. She got all this money from the government because, through sponsorship and all that other stuff, because of the fact that, she won the gold and all that other great stuff, right? But then the NCAA president comes out and says, well, I don't like that, because, they shouldn't be getting paid. Why shouldn't she get paid? That's her money. She didn't do it on behalf of the university. She did it on behalf of the United States government. That's what she did. She played for her country. So why shouldn't she be compensated? But because she's a student athlete, oh wait, you want to make sure they don't get paid and the universities all keep getting paid so that way you can keep lining your pockets. Nah, that's not how life works. And it's like, for me, I always been an advocate of this for a long time. The issue is with the NCAA is they have to understand, technically speaking, these kids can start working at age 18. So if I can start getting paid at 18, then why shouldn't I get paid as an athlete? You're asking me to sacrifice my body, getting hit by 240-pound linebackers, getting punished by sometimes these 230-pound safeties, because we all saw Cam Chancellor. He was arguably one of the best safeties we've seen in a long time. And the funniest thing is, he modeled his playing style after the late Sean Taylor, which makes a lot of sense to me. Why, when I watch him play, I always thought of Sean Taylor. So, when you get hit by guys like that, sorry to tell you this, no, I need to get some bread.
Yes.
So, it's the same. It looks, I don't know if anybody's calling. But looking at this list, the team who I think is going to be obviously the most dominant is clearly going to be Alabama. That's the obvious, because they got so much depth at every level, and they just got to figure out their quarterback situation. My sleeper team on this whole list, because I honestly believe they're going to be really good this year. The only problem is they're in the ACC. Gotta go with the U, baby. I gotta go with the U, baby. Yeah. The U is right there. The thing about the U,
they didn't stay that long, did they?
No, because the U, first off, they're getting back to form. They got receivers, they got running backs. The way they play defense is ridiculous. They play fast and they hit hard. Like, these guys have been coming to punish people these past couple of seasons. But it's just that when they run into big time schools like Clemson or Florida State, that's when usually they run into problems. But other than that, they're a good football team. And it's like, if only the U just has that 1 year where they're undefeated, I'm telling you, the U is going to be in there.
Well, to get a number 8 ranking, I mean, they shouldn't have no problems when they run into teams like Clemson or Florida State. I mean, it should be a good competitive game. You don't get pushed in the top 10 just by name.
Right.
So I'm thinking if they're ranked number 8, there's something special about this team this year.
Yeah. Because I look at the teams before them, like, first up, those are all good football teams. Like Georgia, I mean, obviously Georgia, they played phenomenal last year, and I think they're going to play that same way this year. Oklahoma, they played well last year. They just got to figure out who their quarterback is going to be, because they have a lot of returning starters on defense. I know their offense is very young, so I know with them it's going to be a different situation. Now with Washington, I mean, I think it's Coach Leach. Yeah, Coach Leach. Mike Leach, if you remember him from Texas Tech. Mm-hmm. He's always had great quarterbacks, great receivers. Washington always has good guys. Wisconsin, I call that the pesky team. Everybody knows I can't stand Wisconsin, because that's the pesky team. Because that's the team that, like, if you see them on your schedule, 9 times out of 10 they're going to give you a fit. They always do. I can't stand Wisconsin, but they always find themselves in the mix. But they're a Big Ten team, and they are tough. I mean, those guys, when they hit, I always tell people, if you told me right now, let's start an NFL draft, I'm drafting every single offensive lineman from Wisconsin.
Wow.
I'm drafting every last one of them.
You know, I this year I will be catching a couple of Wisconsin games. I'll be traveling up there. A friend of mine's, her son is actually, this will be his freshman year, so we will actually be going back and forth up there, and I plan on catching a couple of games.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to say about this top 15. There's week 4, or I believe it's week 4, it may be week 5, where there's a matchup with it's Ohio State versus Penn State. Now, Ohio State is ranked number 3. They have some issues going on.
Right, because their head coach right now, he's been placed on administrative leave, and I said to people he's not going to be fired, but I do believe he's going to be suspended for at least 6 games.
Wow.
I do believe that. I believe that with that whole situation, which we're going to probably allude to later on, but they're going through some issues right now.
Can they survive 6 weeks without their coach?
I believe they can survive just off of talent. Off of talent alone, I do believe they can survive. And their coach is probably going to sit there and be like, you know what, when Urban Meyer comes back, we'll be straight. But we'll have to see these first 2 games. If their first 2 games don't go that well, then I can't see them surviving.
Because we're talking about the Big Ten, and we're talking about national championship. You lose 1 game.
And the Big Ten is bad.
Yeah. I mean, if you lose 2 games the whole season, the chances are you're not going to be in a national championship. You're probably not even going to be in a playoff series. So I mean, that this game between Penn State and Ohio State is so big right now, depending on what the culture is around that Ohio State team. And Penn State number 9. I'm going to predict Penn State will be 4-0 by the time they play Ohio State.
Right.
They will play Ohio State, and if Ohio State is not the Ohio State that everyone expects, Penn State will jump, and I'm going to say Penn State will be ranked number 1 in the country,
right,
before the season's over with.
Okay.
Them nifty Lions on the way back.
Yeah. I mean, the only person they really kind of lost on that team was Saquon Barkley. That's really the only person they lost. Everybody else basically is a return to the team. So, in the interest of time, folks, we're gonna move along. We're gonna talk about the Boston Red Sox, and we're gonna talk about who's gonna probably stop the Red Sox.
Oh, they could be stopped.
Well, they could be stopped.
They could be stopped. Who's
gonna stop them? Because they ain't gonna be the Yankees.
They got the Houston Astros.
Yes, I did believe that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
The Houston Astros.
I can definitely see that.
I mean, there are a couple of other good teams in that AL. That can possibly knock them off. It just so and then you got to look at the Yankees. The Yankees are right there with them.
The Yankees are 10 games behind the Red Sox.
they're right there with them.
They 10 games behind the Red Sox. Did you not see what the last time that happened? They actually, the crazy part is the last time they played. Is it the Red Sox? The last time they played the Red Sox. The Red Sox was actually behind, and then for some odd reason, the Yankees found a way to lose. And I said to people, I knew that was going to happen because they got shell-shocked. So they don't realize that this rivalry has been fierce. Do I believe that the Yankees are going to be there in the ALCS? Oh, most definitely.
Okay.
They have to make that happen.
Okay.
There's no way Major League Baseball is not going to make that happen. Believe that.
Because I was about to petition the people from New York to call. The Yankees deserve that respect.
Yeah, I most definitely believe the Yankees will be there because I'm sorry, the Athletics. Okay, I'm not too sure about them. I mean, they give the Red Sox a fit sometimes, but I know for the fact that the Red Sox could beat them. But the Astros, that team, I don't know what it is. And boys has been playing. See, with the Red Sox and the Yankees, you already know the players. You know Betts, you know JD Martinez, you know David Price, you know those guys are going to come to play. But see, with the Yankees, I mean, it's just Aaron Judge, baby. There's nothing wrong. The Judge is ready to make his ruling. The Judge is ready to make his ruling.
You know what? It all sounds good. And I wish the Boston Red Sox, I wish them well. But for my money, it's going to be the New York Yankees. It's going to be the Yankee organization.
No, it ain't.
Yeah, I believe in New York.
I'm sure you do believe in New York.
I believe
don't.
in New York.
The Red Sox. First off, they're 86-36. Honestly, if they keep winning the way they're winning, they actually have an opportunity to possibly have the best record in Major League Baseball history. The only thing is, they can't lose any more games. They can't lose no more than, I would say, 4 or 5 games.
And it's around 37 games left to go in the season?
I believe so, yes. Because right now they're 86-36, so that's about 100 and what? I'm trying to think. So they 80-30, that's about 110. There's 110 right there. Plus there's the 2 6s, that's 12. So that's 122 games. And there's only 162 games in the season, so that's like 40 games left.
You know what, Shane? If that happens, if they don't lose any more games this season, I'll come in studio. I'll come in studio with a Red Sox jersey on, a Red Sox jersey.
Yep.
A little slug of baseball bat, and I'll have on an adult continent or dependent, or whatever you call it, a diaper. I'll come in here with a diaper on, with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
What are the chances of that?
I mean, the chances are pretty high. It's literally 50-50.
50-50, Shane. We're talking about 37 games. We're talking about not losing. We're talking about going 33 and 4.
Right.
Over the next 37 games.
Right.
That is not going to happen. You know what?
We don't know. But here's the thing, though. With the way they're playing, we don't know that. That's just it. Because, like, I told people the way Betts is playing and JD Martinez is playing, first of all, between those two guys, they have the most RBIs and they have the most home runs on the team right now. I believe JD Martinez has like 37 home runs, and I think Betts has like 27, I believe.
I know Betts, he's leading the batting average, and Martinez, they're like 1 and 2 in the
exactly.
The batting
they're
average.
1 and 2. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's stopping neither one of these two. And then for the Yankees, I mean, like I said, Judge is doing his thing. And for the Red Sox, their outfielding is great. Like, they're pitching finally, because this has always been the issue with the Red Sox. Is for years they've always had issues with pitching. Mainly not with their starting pitchers, mainly with their closers, because they never really had good closers in the past couple of seasons. Now they got the closers. And I always tell people, a really good baseball team always has good hitters, good starters, and good closers. If you have a really good closer on your baseball team, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
The sky's the limit.
Like I say, you know what? I'll make the bet even sweeter. You know what? We're going to skip the jersey. I'm going to come in here with a wife beater and a diaper on if that happens. That's how confident I am. That ain't going to happen.
We'll see. In the interest of time, folks, we're going to move on. And we're going to talk about this last topic. All the Big Ten scandals. It's depressing. It's like, why? I mean, look at all these teams. Maryland, Rutgers, Ohio State, Purdue, all these nice Big Ten teams, right? But let's go into the scandals real quick. Let's go take a look at that. The thing about these scandals, and it's not like it's just one, it's a bunch of them. You got Ohio State, they fired, the assistant coach for domestic abuse, and the head coach got suspended. We just talked about DJ Durkin earlier, and that fool. But this is the thing that gets me. Michigan. Come on, man. The AD got caught.
What?
Oh yeah.
And what is he?
So they had a doctor. He pulled a Larry Nassar. We all know Larry Nassar. Okay, that's what happened. Coach was fired for refusing medical treatment to his athlete, and that was one of Coach Lovie Smith's staff. He got caught. One of the players doesn't need a medical treatment, and I believe it was the strength and conditioning coach, I believe. And he was like, no medical treatment. Wait, what? And then for Minnesota, they caught Coach fired for aiding and abetting sexual misconduct. That was all throughout the news. I mean, they couldn't find. There was no way they could not find that. I mean, Purdue had inadequate health care facilities to treat players. I think Purdue's situation is not as bad. It's bad, but it's not as bad. That just meaningly says that they're not spending money where they're supposed to spend.
Right.
I don't think that one is that bad. Now, drug testing, I mean, who'd you pay off? Who'd you pay off, Ruckus?
And all of these schools are from the Big Ten?
All of them from the Big Ten.
Wow. You know what? I'm sitting here thinking with just what you have on screen right now. If we look back this decade right here,
Yeah.
think about the Big Ten, Penn State,
Right.
and all of these other schools within the Big Ten, Indiana.
Yeah.
I mean, what is going on with the Big Ten?
I think right now, if I'm the Big Ten president, I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna sit here and say this. I would be calling all of these schools' athletic directors and all of their presidents and be like, "Yo, we all need to have a sit down. We got to get a handle on this because right now the Big Ten, they are in huge trouble." Because because here's the thing, you don't hear these things coming out of these other conferences. You don't really hear bad things like this coming out of the SEC.
No.
You don't hear things coming out like this out of the ACC outside of that situation in Louisville with Rick Pitino and that situation, and you see how that situation went. And the ACC cleaned up since then because you saw what happened with all that stuff that was going on at the U. You saw the 30 for 30 on that.
Yeah.
All the stuff that was going on there. So the ACC cleaned up.
So
The Big Ten right now,
So
I don't know. They need to figure it out.
when you speak of the ACC, you speak of Pitino, and we talk about the Big Ten. You know, Pitino, so to speak, I don't know if the people can see me, but this is my broom. And that's the rug.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's going to happen?
I think.
Will these people be held accountable for their actions, or will we continue to see big schools, let's say big business, come out on top because of the financial means that they have or resources that they have, and things get swept under the rug?
Well, I mean, here, you know, you got to remember with Michigan State. Michigan State, you know, that was Larry Nassar, you know. So that situation was bad. And, you know, and the funniest thing is their athletic director had resigned after, you know, Larry Nassar, you know, got caught doing what he was doing. And it's like, dude, like, I don't even know what to say. So with Michigan, with Michigan State, it's like you don't even know what to say. There's really nothing else to say about that except that you needed to resign if you're the athletic director. Number one, you needed to retire.
Well,
and then as far as Larry Nassar, well, he's under the jail, and you know he's trying to appeal his situation. That idiot.
He's trying to appeal it?
Yes, he tried, and they denied it. Don't worry, he's not getting out. He's not getting out. No.
Really?
Yeah, he tried it though. He did try.
So this is where they made their mistake at. They allowed him to walk out of the door when they should have opened the door for him. Reached over to the side and put their boot on, took the tennis shoe off and put the boot on, and kicked his butt on outside the door on the other side.
Yes, sir. And then, but see, with Ohio State, the head coach fired the guy. I don't know what more he possibly could have done. I mean, this kind of reminds me of that Penn State situation. Like, except the only difference is he took it in his own hands to get rid of the guy. Joe Paterno reported it to somebody else. They still didn't do nothing. Okay? That's just what it is. I think the Big Ten, they got to go sit down. They need to have a sit down with all these coaches, all these athletic directors, all of these schools.
Yeah.
Every last one of them. It doesn't matter if he was in a scandal or not. Like Nebraska, you know, they didn't hear nothing yet. And I'm going to say yet because unfortunately, this is the Big Ten. We don't know what else might come out of this conference. So, and Wisconsin, you know, same thing. These guys have to have a sit down because they have to do something. Because you can't keep having this kind of behavior just running rampant. And I mean, I get it. It's athletics. We get it. We understand it. There's money. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of things going on. But you have to get a handle on this because out of all of this is what's been bothering me the most. The fact that you have Minnesota and Michigan State having sexual misconduct problems, and then Penn State, they're not on here right now because they took care of that years ago. But this was all recent. These situations were recent scandals. But these two right here, it's like, did you not learn from the Penn State situation? You've got to fix that.
Yeah. So Shane, let me ask you this.
Yes.
The two biggest topics in the Big Ten will have to be the Ohio State, the Zach Smith topic, and probably the the Maryland issue, the
Yes.
issues that they're having at Maryland, and we hear a lot about that because we're local here in Maryland. But the Maryland situation is unfortunate, but the questions that I have and the questions that are rolling through my text messages and they want me to ask and they want me to bring forth is Urban Meyer. What will happen to him? Should he be held responsible? And how did the information get to him? And did it get to him in a way where as though it was credible? Because I mean he fired the coach, rightfully so. But now should he be penalized?
No, I don't think he should be penalized. But but I feel like this is what's going to happen because we saw this with Joe Paterno. He's going to be the fall guy. Because the problem is it's domestic abuse. And unfortunately with this Me Too movement and with these domestic violence movements all over the place, the school has to do something because they're going to get a lot of pressure from these groups out here that are going to be very, very tough on the school.
I hear all of that, but Shane, I'm going to share something with you.
Okay.
And I haven't shared it with anyone else. My girlfriend beats me. She beats me. Now I haven't shared that with anyone else, Shane. And I really need help. I really wish I could find my way out of this situation, and I need help. Thank you for listening to me, Shane.
Yes, sir.
Now, when you leave out of this room, Shane, the people that are over top of us, do you go back and say, Mr. Unregulated is being physically abused by his girlfriend who works the front desk here? Or do you say, well, you know what? Maybe they got into an argument. Maybe it was a slap on the wrist, a slap here, or something small. So what do you do as a concerned person or as my boss? Do you and as her boss, do you go and approach her? Or do you kind of just sit back and say, well, I just don't have enough information. Honey, Urban Meyer probably said, honey, are you sure about that?
I'm the type of person, well, you kind of asked the wrong person that question because I'm the type of person that anytime somebody brings that kind of information to me, I take it seriously whether if it's serious or not, period. That's just how I operate. That's how because even when I'm not here, I work at another place. I work at Planet Fitness. I'm an assistant manager. If any one of my staff come to me and say, Shane, this is happening to me and it's happening to me here at work, I'm not going to sit there and just let it go by the wayside. I'm going to address it because what's going to happen is if I let that situation continue, it could get to a situation where it gets a lot worse. And I'm not going to allow something to just get a lot worse. Now, in this situation with Urban Meyer, he did the right thing. He fired the guy. Do I believe that he took a little longer than he should have? Possibly. I can definitely say that. In your situation, your girl, you said what you said. I'm going to address that. I'm going to go talk to that person and be like, so this is what's going on? Okay, so these are the consequences of your actions. Because you represent yourself not just inside work, but also outside of work. I hate to say this, like if I was to go, it's like a police officer. You see what happens with these police officers out here. If they go shoot a suspect, they got to dot their I's and T's, right? You want to know why? Because what's going to happen is they reflect upon the agency. And it's the same situation with this.
But check this out, Shane. Urban Meyer did the correct thing. He waited.
Yes.
People think he waited too long, but he waited to get more information and probably some pressure and some heat came down on him too to make him to come to that decision to let Zach Smith go. But this is the thing, Shane. If you go and approach her, and you penalize her, or you sanction her, and then, but I didn't tell you, Shane, but she beats me with a switch, and I love it. See, so when you act fast and you go right in and you jump right in, it's not a good thing because you don't have all the information,
all the facts.
I told you she beats me, but I left out that it was with a little switch that we brought from the store, and I love it. So, did he do the right thing? He waited. He got more information.
And then he took action.
And then he took action.
Yeah.
So why is this man not practicing with his team?
Because Ohio State wants to save face. And I told you, it's like the Penn State situation. He's going to be the fall guy. And I think it's unfortunate because when I was covering University of Maryland's football games, I talked to other journalists. Like, I talked to journalists in, like, ESPN, USA Sports, all these different journalists who, you know, go there to take pictures and things like that. The one thing that everybody always, there's, like, the one word that always comes to mind when I heard people talk about Urban Meyer, guy's clean. Guy's upstanding. Guy's a family man. Guy teaches family amongst players. I've never heard any bad things until this. So, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. If Urban Meyer is not your coach, Ohio State, you all need to get together. You need to get together before this even happens. Your team is ranked in the top 5. This guy does not have a history that says he's a bad person. Stand up for your coach. If you don't stand up for nothing else, stand up for your coach. He needs you.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for No BS. So I want you guys to go to the No BS No Holds Barred Sports Talk Show fan group on Facebook. Then I want you to go ahead and follow me on our blog. I think that should be the next one right now. Follow our blog on Blogger called No BS No Holds Barred Sports Talk.blogspot.com. Then follow me at social media at Insane Shane, Insane_Shane29 and Underground SB29, also Shiz_29 and No BS No Holds Barred, and Underground Sports LC.blogspot.com. Mr. Unregulated, what's your social media, sir, so these people can follow you?
You all can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube page, but that information will be given out to you next week. Come on back.
Yes, sir.
Hey Shane, that's you right there, right?
Yeah, that's me.
I thought we had something over here that had my picture right here. We don't have.
Yeah,
The people want to see me too, Shane.
And then, if you go ahead and want to advertise with the show, you email me at undergroundsportsllc@gmail.com. And then, that's all we've got, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, your boy Shane and Mr. Unregulated. No BS, No Holds Barred Sports Talk Shows out of the building. Peace!